I first started writing Reckoning, although I didn't know that was what it was going to be, just after my father died. He died in 2006 and I started maybe about 2007. And it was kind of like an unstoppable force. All of these phrases about his death and about his life and what that had meant in my life just kept flooding into my head, out through my fingers and onto the page, and I kind of couldn't stop myself from writing it. And I'd go in spurts then, because I have another job as well. So on and off for a period of about 8 years now, sometimes with 2 or 3 years off in between, I would go back and write the book. And as it evolved, I began to understand that really it's about that legacy that all families leave for one another. I very much believe that things get transmitted down through the generations. And my father had a very unusual experience during the Second World War. He was in Warsaw, and he was an assassin in a top secret counterintelligence unit, which sounds absolutely farcical and like a Pulp Fiction film, a Tarantino film, except it's actually true. And there have been people who doubted what my father's experience because it sounded so bizarre, but there are actually history books with pictures of him, and so it's all verifiable. Sometimes I think sometimes I have trouble coming to grips with the fact that my father was an assassin, and I just think it's just too weird. But he was, and needless to say, you can't do that and not have some impact on you. And then I was very interested, after having done years of therapy, on tracing what impact that had had on me and how that had played out in my life. So it's really about intergenerational trauma. And then I did Who Do You Think You Are, where you trace your family ancestry, and I discovered there was sort of unremitting trauma on the Irish side as well, which is not surprising. But a great many things about me made sense. So it became a thing. I didn't especially want to write about myself, to be really honest. I found that the most boring part of the book. But in order to show the way that these things play out over generations, I kind of had to do that. So it's kind of a family history / memoir, really. And that's the story of Reckoning.